Arranging for Hank to come here. Willie talked to the Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association on a daily basis to make sure that this happened today and that it went off without a hitch. Dr. Clemens, will you please come forward? Let's give you a big round of applause.
Thank you, thank you. I was very pleased when I received a call from the Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association and asked if I would help gather a group of individuals that had ties to Mobile and had very strong relationship with Hank and Billy Aaron. Naturally, I consulted my wife and best friend, Lateria Sears Clemens, who is also a native Mobilian. And so we decided to, as we do collectively, to work together to pull this group of individuals together to come and support this quite historic occasion. I would say this is Black History Month. And what has gathered here in this city has been historic in the sense of individuals of color who have come together and being collectively sends a special message not only to this community but across the country, because we have those persons that you read about, that you hear about, that's in your midst. And so at this time I would like to recognize those and ask them to stand so that you could also share with them your support and thanks. You heard from my very dear friend, Mrs. Billy Aaron, Mrs. Aaron, again, who is a spouse of Henry, Mrs. Alfreda Aaron Scott, Ms. Gail Aaron, the daughter, and where is Mr. James Aaron? Where's James? So here's James over here in the front. We also have Mrs. Vivian Bishop, the spouse of Congressman Sanford Bishop. Vivian? We're also very pleased to have the President and First Lady of Clark Atlanta University, Dr. Ronald and Mrs. Irene Johnson. Our own, who now lives in Chicago, who is a known mezzo-soprano, Miss Joyce Carter and her husband, Mr. Fred Carter. And with us, who we has claimed as our own, a friend of long standing and a major supporter of the Aarons and all of their causes, Mr. J.C. Cole. Mr. J.C. Cole. Miss Gloria Hinton from Detroit, Michigan, is here as a part of the celebration. Well, I think all of us are so proud of this person because she is a native and has acclaimed so much in the field of medicine, and we're so pleased to have her because not only is she a product of my school, Morehouse School of Medicine, but she is also the 18th U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Regina. We also have someone who was a part of us for years and was made so many contributions in the area of media. She was in Atlanta. She was the editorial director for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. But somewhat, there's where someone here in Mobile stole her heart, and now she is an integral part of the city. She is the Pulitzer Prize winner, and that is Miss Cynthia Tucker and her husband, who stole her from us, Dr. Johnson Haynes. although not a part of, say, the Mobile delegation or the Atlanta delegation or wherever we're from, but has also been a supporter of ours and want to recognize him. And that is Dr. Tony Waldrop, who is the president of the University of South Alabama. And you see his bust is strategically placed there. Lionel Woodyard. I think everybody knows Lionel. Lionel is the person who's from Mobile, who provides all of the transportation all over the country. A very good friend, Lionel Woodyard. And last but not least in terms of this, we have two other people that are here that are friends and who live in Atlanta, but it was that Mobile connection, and that is Mr. and Mrs. Marion Lewis. Marion and Paulette Lewis. But again, I definitely have to recognize the person who keeps me intact and my best friend and my wife of 47 years, Lateria Seals Clemens. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for all of what you're doing. We're very, very pleased, and we look forward to the rest of the event, the luncheon, receptions, and all that will go, the parade, the motorcade. We're here and excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Clemens. We want to thank all the media for covering this event today. I heard once that if a leaf falls in the forest and nobody's there, did it really fall? And so I want to thank especially Fox 10 and Gary Yoder for their support and the coverage of this event, not only today, but for the last month. They have been running various exposure for us in this event. So let's give them a big round of applause. As much credit as I want to give the Atlanta crew for putting this on, I'm here to tell you that as one person that if they had not supported this, this would not have happened. And that is my wife, Miss Deborah Flynn. Let's give her a big round of applause. And with that, we'll have closing remarks by President Everett Thomas of the Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank Ms. Billy Aaron, Mr. Hank Aaron for coming, and all the other dignitaries that came. But I'd like to thank Curtis for help putting this on. I mean, it was a lot of work. I mean, it was after hour work. I know I texted him a couple times at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I guess he really didn't know what was going on. But it took a lot of effort to put this on. On behalf of the Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association, our brothers here, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out this afternoon to help make this a success. We have our motorcade today at 2 and our lunch tomorrow at 11. We just want to thank you again for coming out. Thank you very much.
The house is now open. Anybody want to tour the home, anybody want to tour the stadium, it's open for you. And in the words of the Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association, let the good times roll.